Let me double check my sound
Yeah,
here.
double check your sound. We are live now, though.
Yes, sir. Reading.
Oh, we are.
Hey, it worked.
Wasn't check the levels. All right.
Yes, sir. Reading you loud and clear. Clear. The clock has started. The clock has started.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Oops. Welcome to Pressing for Flight, where I forgot to change the background of the thing. Hey, we're live from the Space Coast, where the schedule never holds. I had the verbal assault background up there.
Oh
Uh-oh.
no!
Well, that's
Wrong
another
podcast.
That's another podcast that me and Becca do. So there you go. That's your glimpse into that. But I've already changed it. Hey, we are starting to have launch dates slowly trickle in.
Things are happening.
Oh my god! I was talking to Becca last night after we were done recording our other podcast, just talking about how just lately I just like I don't even I have to really force myself to get out and like go take some pictures and you know. And she's like, "What did you say? Like, have you lost the magic?" I'm like, well, no, it's like this launch withdrawal. It's like, it's a real thing. They should like classify it in the, what's that psychology book? The DM something.
I
But
don't
yeah,
know.
I've just been so wanting launches to take pictures of.
Oh yeah, everybody has.
I did
coming.
actually. I got out on Monday though, and I was actually pleasantly surprised by some good stuff worth taking pictures of. I will get to that in a minute, but first I wanted. Now the viewers, they can already see what's on my screen, but I want you guys to try to just guess what this sound is. Can you hear it pretty well?
Can we guess anytime?
Yeah, anytime. Yeah,
I don't know.
throw it out there.
I thought we were just listening.
Alien communication.
All right, that's a guess.
It's listening to a helicopter through a tube.
Okay, all right, better, closer.
I thought
warmer.
helicopter too. Honestly,
Helicopter.
Aliens is cooler though.
Keagle, you have
An
any
old
idea?
Mustang with a misfire.
All right, I'll give you a hint. It is space related,
aliens.
Pulsar.
and it's not aliens. Wait, what'd you say,
Okay.
Keagle?
Well, I was just reading the first one. It says Pulsar.
Oh,
It's on the screen.
but you're not supposed to cheat.
Oh, I was gonna say, is ET trying to phone home? Is that what's going on?
Yes, that is a pulsar. I thought that was really cool. They took let's see, how did she say they did it? We can convert electromagnetic radiations and cosmic collisions and ripples of space-time into audio files, and that's I guess what they would sound like if you could hear them through a vacuum.
It was audible, yeah.
What's really cool about pulsars is I think they used to kind of hypothesize, and maybe even they still do, you know, like if we ever get to the point where we're like traveling between stars and stuff and we need like a beacon, like, you know, there is no north and south in the galaxy. Once you leave Earth, and now you know, you could probably find a magnetic field within the solar system and use that for north and south and, you know, stuff like that. But once you're traveling through the stars, you have nothing to really base what's up or down or left or right. You know, obviously there's the other stars, but at a certain point you're going to start to kind of lose where you're at. But they've suggested that you could use pulsars as something to help you navigate, you know, because they all rotate and put the signal out very regularly. And I don't know if they all rotate at the exact same speed. I want to say they do. Like, that's one of the cool things about them, but I'm not sure. But they all have this super fast rotation. I should probably look up how fast do pulsars spin, because it's like ridiculous fast, and these are actually stars, right? How fast?
So it's like the blinking lights of cell phone towers of the universe.
There you go. The newly discovered pulsar, which newly, I don't know, spinning 716 times per second.
That's a lot of times in 1 second.
That's many
And that's
times.
the sound we were listening to.
Right.
How would somebody use that to navigate? I don't understand.
Because they put out it's
I'm
a
sure each
very,
one's the different, distinct
yeah,
frequencies
because
and
they're very
everything.
distinct. Because most stars don't do that, I think, is why. I
But
think
wouldn't you
this
kinda-
is definitely. I need to go ahead and say this is one of those areas where I only listen to smart people and I try to absorb it, and then now that I'm trying to regurgitate it, I'm realizing how little I know about it.
You're not an
That's fine.
astrophysicist?
We can talk it out. So the thing I just don't understand. Wouldn't you need to know where all of them are for that to do anything for you?
Well,
I think, I mean, as you discover them, and then you chart them, and then you know, like breadcrumbs, you can find your way back somewhere. Wouldn't that
I
count?
wonder if it has something to do with like Doppler shift and how, like, you know, when you're precisely analyzing the signal you're getting from them, you can tell how far away you are from them.
Mm.
You know, and use
And-
that to determine your speed and direction and position. And once you have several of them, you can triangulate your position using those. And actually, now I'm remembering. Let's see.
So they're the GPS of the universe.
Yeah, the golden record and pulsars. Yeah, pulsar map. Golden record pulsar map. So I'll show you this picture. So the golden record is this really cool thing they put on both of the Voyager spacecraft, and the Voyager spacecraft are the first and only human-built spacecrafts, and I think only one's actually done it so far, but the other one's on its way, but to actually leave the solar system and enter into interplanetary space or interstellar space, right? So we have one that's already out, and I think the other one is only just like starting to get, they call it like the bow shock or whatever. It's like there's kind of this in-between phase from when you're in the solar system to actually being far enough outside that you really don't have, you're not really being affected by the sun, by its gravity. But anyway, they put these on here. What I want you to do is open image in a new tab.
Enhance.
There we go. I won't zoom in. Okay, so this is intended to be a map to where we are. These lines are all pointing to different pulsars. And the idea is that if some intelligent civilization ever found the Voyager spacecraft, one, they would be able to play this record. It's all the sounds of the Earth. And they did, they're smart. They did include a record player on board the spacecraft with instructions on how to use it. But one of the things that's included is this pulsar star map that's supposed to indicate to an intelligent species where we are. And all of these are just to show that we are intelligent. I'm not sure what they all mean. Like these, you know, I think the idea was that they were putting things on there that would be universally true. You know, it's not language based. Obviously, they put Sounds of Earth right here on the record, but this isn't language based. These are things that no matter where you are in the universe, if you're flying a spaceship, you would have had to figure out this stuff at some point. You know, these waves, whatever these waves are from here, I don't know. And whatever these dots and dashes and stuff mean, I'd like to actually watch something on, you know, that explains in detail. Like even on Cosmos, you know, Carl Sagan talks about it, but he doesn't go into detail on what each little thing is.
Man, that's cool.
Yeah.
I've never even heard of that. What's it called?
The Golden Record, and it's flying on the Voyager spacecrafts. There's Voyager 1 and 2. They were launched in. Oh, let's find out.
Yeah,
Do you remember?
Voyagers were launched in I believe it was the 70s or 80s.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the yeah.
I'm not.
So
I'm not.
Voyager,
Yeah, 77.
yep, 77.
with Catherine Janeway on it.
Let's see when Voyager 2 launched. August 20th. Wow, not that far apart.
No.
About 15 days.
But look how long it's taken them to get where they are now, though.
I know. And I think it was like 2 years ago, I think, that they announced that Voyager 2, I think it's Voyager 2 that's further, even though, wait, no.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, the
Is
one
it
that
Voyager
launched
2
later is further.
Well, Voyager 1 was actually launched later. Because look at this. Voyager 2 was August 20th. Voyager 1 was September 5th. And I remember hearing the reason, but that's me and remembering stuff. But I think it was the one that was launched second that is farther. So Voyager 1, I think, is outside of the solar system.
Yeah, that's crazy.
How far is Voyager 2 now? Voyager 2 is slightly more than 11 billion miles from Earth. Mission operators can still communicate with Voyager 2 as it enters this new phase of its journey. That information, moving at the speed of light, takes about 16 and a half hours to travel from the spacecraft to Earth. Nuts.
It's a long ways away.
That's nutty. Well, all that was to see if you guys can guess what that sound is.
It's catchy. Auto tune that.
Moving right along. Yeah, hey, so early this morning, yeah, we talked about the Pegasus barge whenever it came in. It was carrying the SLS fit test core. What do they call it? They were calling it the. Anybody remember?
No.
It's like the practice core. Anyway, yeah, they did their fit checks and stuff. They took it into the VAB. They lifted it up, made sure all the crane operations were going well, and then they.
The Centaur?
No, the SLS, the core.
The
stage.
core?
Yeah.
Yeah, the mock-up one.
Yeah, the mock-up. Did some tests, did some fit checks, all that sort of stuff, and it's now on its way back. So the next time we see this bad boy, or girl, I guess it's supposed to be a girl because it's a ocean vessel, it'll be carrying a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, oddly enough, in the meantime, they have been tweeting pictures, or someone has, about the engines are being installed. I'm going through their Twitter right now, and I'm not seeing it. I'm seeing a bunch of retweets of things that have nothing to do with SLS. But anyway, next time we see the Pegasus, there's not really much to say about that. I just wanted to point out that it had left.
And it's coming back with the real thing.
Yeah, it'll come back with the real thing in like 2 years.
Oh.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Or till funding gets cut off one day.
Yeah, till Starship lands on the moon and they realize that they don't need to keep spending money on that stuff.
Old Elon beat him to it.
But yeah, hey, if you're watching the stream, you can see it right there. But these images, some great shots by Julia Bergeron on Twitter. I'm sure you all know her. And Kyle Montgomery. He's another one. Takes some great shots around the port and around Starship. So follow them. What else? Oh yeah. So Monday I got out and got up on top of the exploration tower and set up the long lens on the tripod and looked through and I couldn't tell. Like obviously this is all sped up, but I couldn't tell if there was any movement. I thought there was, but it's just hard to tell at those distances, especially you're looking through the atmospheric distortion. And it's just hard to tell what you're seeing. So I just set it up for a time lapse and just let the camera shoot for about an hour and a half. And yeah, was pleased with what I got. It's just some cranes moving around, and you really can't even Like, it's kind of funny. You see them going up and down, but you don't really even see what they're holding. You know, you're not seeing
Yeah.
beams and stuff going up and being placed.
It's too far away.
It's just way too far. Yeah. But it is interesting. You know, over the past few weeks, you know, a few people have done this, and I mean, hell, that's where I got the ideas. Other people taking pictures out there, but I was like, well, nobody's gotten a time lapse yet, and I would like to see personally, you know, see those cranes in motion.
Time lapse Steve had to come out.
Yeah, yeah,
You took a time lapse of cranes?
yeah. Did you
Lots
not
of
see
them.
it?
I don't
guess
know.
I could
I
share
don't
the
guess I
screen.
did.
I just assumed everybody had seen it. It's just some cranes.
It's a very busy site.
Hypothetically, what everyone is thinking is this is a water tower, and I don't know what else it could be, but
Yeah,
it
it's definitely a water tower.
looks like. Well, I had somebody, I don't remember who it was suggesting that maybe it wasn't a water tower, but the more I see it,
No,
No,
it's a water tower.
Yeah, that's definitely a water tower.
yeah, it's a water tower. I don't know, I don't know what else it could
There's
be.
no way that that's anything other than a water tower.
It's right next to the pad,
Yeah.
I mean, what if it
or
was
the
like
future pad.
supposed to be like a tower for something, right?
Like what?
Like a crew access arm.
Like water?
Nah, not that shape.
I know. I'm pretty sure it's a water tower myself. But anyway, and then there's a horizontal integration facility, and I mean this might be just another piece of that. But the thing is, when you're looking out there, you know, and you can see several launch pads from the top of the exploration tower, this thing just looks like a monster. It seems like they should already have the top on there, but it's like it's going up higher, you know, and you have to realize that New Glenn is huge.
Yeah, it's gonna be giant.
And what's really cool is it's one of the southernmost launch pads, so you'll be able to see it, I think, even from Jetty Park.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
gonna
where
be
every other
it's
launch
gonna be
pad,
impressive when it goes off.
Yeah, every other launch pad, if you're at Jetty Park, I'm sorry, you don't get to see liftoff, but you know, you'll see it when it's, you know, once it's up above everything, but you can't see liftoff from Jetty Park.
Well, we'll see how long until it gets underwater. One of the local news stations put out an article about the water levels rising,
Oh, really?
but NASA's. I found some articles from like 5 years ago. They've been already aware and working on it and building up the dunes and
Well, we're in one of those places that is probably going to be prioritized when it comes to that. You know, it's a real thing, but it's also something that we can mitigate. You know,
and it's gonna be a long way down.
well,
Like
it's going to happen.
some of these
so
companies wouldn't be
gradually.
investing millions or billions of dollars on these launch sites that they think 5 years from now it's gonna be underwater.
Yeah,
You
true.
know?
Yeah, and
I
there
mean,
are things that we can do, and they're probably already doing them. You know, to mitigate, and you know, it sucks that the water is going to rise probably, but you know, places that have priority can be kind of like retrofit to withstand it or divert that water somewhere.
mm,
You know, it's gonna be the other places that the people are gonna be run out because of the rising water. I don't think it's gonna be the most hopping launch complex on the planet.
yeah. Yeah.
I think Kennedy and Cape Canaveral are like one of the most important like national security assets.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I would think that, you know, the high ups at the Pentagon or whatever would see it that way.
Global warming's not
even
real.
really-
Don't worry about it.
I didn't even really think about that until you said it.
Yeah.
That's a little scary, kind of.
What, like, what if someone were to attack it?
Yeah.
I mean,
Hey, 'cause it's close.
that's why they send out those helicopters, and you know, there's the big show of force. You know, whenever there's a launch and stuff, is just because like we know no one's going to do anything, but we want to make sure you know that we know that you're not going to do anything. And they NASA even has a SWAT team delivered to a guy. Yeah, and you know, we just started talking. I guess he mentioned that he worked out there. You know, I asked him what he did. He said he was SWAT. I'm like, SWAT? He's like, yeah, well, you know, we're not as necessary now, but we would always be there anytime there was a shuttle launch. Anytime we were launching crew, we were there. Like, really? He's like, yeah. Like, why? He said, well, probably no one's dumb enough to do anything crazy out there, but we have to take every precaution, and if someone tries to get a little funny, you need to already have the forces there to deal with it.
Ready.
Yeah. So that's kind of neat. I don't know. I'd like to know more about that, honestly, about the NASA SWAT team.
Yeah, right.
That'd be cool.
Well, I mean, they have their own police force out there,
Mhm.
fire department, EMTs.
Yeah.
It's like its own little town.
Cool. I wonder how we could find out more about that situation.
But the SWAT?
Yeah.
Ask one of them to come on the show.
Yeah. I don't know how much they can talk about. There's a lot of clearance stuff you have to go through.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I'm sure they know what they can talk about.
You'd be surprised. There's
It'd
a lot of stuff very vague.
Yeah, the answer would be so little, it's not even worth doing it. They can say so little, they won't even do it.
Yeah. Not worth risking their job.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's a pretty sweet
it'd
gig.
have to even be approved to be able to do it. Just to be able to go on any kind of a media thing, It's not media, but, an online thing.
Yeah. Get on it with us.
Yeah. Chatting with us.
Tell some trade secrets.
Yeah. Well, it turns out as of this week, SpaceX is hiring for recovery operations. Specifically, three specific jobs: drone ship operations, fairing recovery, and octograbber operator.
That's what I want to do.
I know, man.
I want to drive that thing around. I'm gonna octograb you.
Watch it take off and cross that drone ship in about 3 hours.
Unfortunately, I do not have a degree or a bachelor's in engineering, so all three of those jobs,
Yeah,
not in
exactly.
my field.
Yeah, so the basic qualifications must have bachelor's degree in mechanical, aerospace, naval, marine, or systems engineering.
But if anyone listening does, go apply.
Yeah, by all means. And maybe you can wave at us. You also need to have 3+ years of experience building, maintaining, and modifying complex mechanical hardware. They want some people that are good at what they do.
And there's plenty of people out there.
Yeah.
Just have to want to move. I'm sure they're not just hanging out in Cocoa Beach.
I think
so they're not looking to do an underdog situation where they interview somebody that's like, I have no experience, but I got a lot of heart.
Yeah, I'll learn.
My name's Rudy.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm out.
I started as a janitor, now octograb operator. No degree.
Like, can y'all hire me? I'll give y'all 2 B-belts.
I'll pay you to hire me.
I'll pay you to hire me. Come drive your octograbber. So I have been under the impression this entire time that like the guys working over there are like temps, or maybe like I mean, obviously they have to have some sort of training on, because they're working with a Falcon 9, but the people that are working at the port, whenever a booster comes in, I can't imagine that they're full time. That because it doesn't happen frequently enough, right? For them to have an entire crew on hold at all times, right? Or do you think
the rest of the time they probably do a lot of training, safety exercises, anything changes, they got to learn about it. I'm sure there's a lot of time that they give them other tasks to do in the meantime.
maybe? Yeah, I would love.
Yeah, because no one's going to go work
knew.
part time. They're going to, even if it pays well, but.
Yeah, I would love it if anybody knew the answer to that question, because it has always been my assumption that that those people working over there were they weren't like full-time SpaceX employees. But my reason for saying that is because I think that the reason that they're hiring right now is okay. I'm about to hit this, and I hope that it's muted. Okay, it is. I wanted to be able to watch the comments, so I went to our own stream. Because they're about to be launching so many Starlink missions that they're going to be pulling boosters back constantly because they're not land landings, the Starlink launches, as far as I know, because they're packing as many satellites in there as they can, even though it's low Earth
it's
orbit.
gonna be heavy.
And a
Yeah.
lot of times, well, most of the time, low Earth orbit missions end up being return to land. But these, they're packing so many in there that they're going to have to do drone ship landings for all these. And I think that probably answers our question for like what's just read the instructions doing. Probably heading here.
Yeah.
That way they can launch and they can have 2 drone ships, rotating on their duty. But that's going to be fun. There's going to be a launch every 2 to 3 weeks supposedly. And a lot of times SpaceX in the past they have said that they were going to be doing like 2 launches a month, and they never really hit that number. What was the most that they've had in 1 year? Was it like 21 most SpaceX launches. Yeah, how many? Okay, 19. This says 19. I want to make sure.
There is the Wallops launch on the 2nd. What's going on? And that's not SpaceX, but
Yeah.
that'll be our next launch.
19 is a pretty healthy number of launches for one company, especially when there's other companies doing it too.
Yeah. Yeah, the other companies don't get quite that many. Like they're doing, I think ULA is doing good to get like 7 or 8 in a year.
Well, that's because they have to put a lot of thought into like the art and the beauty of their launches.
And what the best time of day is to
they have
produce the twilight effect.
Yep, they have to plan a lot of things ahead.
And it's very kind of them to do that.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
That's why they're my favorite.
Yeah. Where's that going? Oh, don't want to show you that yet. Yeah, so I'm just super stoked that there's gonna be that many launches. It's gonna be just a constant thing. My boss is gonna hate me because I'm gonna be trying to get out there and set remotes for every single one of them.
Heck yeah.
All right.
Got to build a box. I've decided I don't want to keep doing the plastic bag, the garbage bag on the camera thing, because which it would be fine, but I don't know how to keep the moisture out of it because every time I've set a remote, when I get back to the camera, there's water inside the bag. Like there's condensation.
Moisture builds up.
Yeah, there's condensation on the camera, and I'm like, I know that it's weather resistant, but I wonder if that weather resistance assumes that the water is going to have an opportunity to dry off of there and not just sit there on those creases and seams of the case, that is the camera body,
Just go to Harbor Freight, pick you up an ammo box,
A what?
an ammo can. So you go to Harbor Freight, they have the ammo
Like
boxes.
the metal things?
Yeah, well, you could do the metal things, or the that's what Tom Cross and all them use. They just use the ammo can.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, it's weather stripped, so it is waterproof, and all they do is just cut a hole out in the front.
For the lens.
That's it.
Yeah.
So how Tom Cross did his setup, actually took a gander at his setup for the Yuri's night. He was there, and I took a look at his setup, and he actually has a solar panel attached to a fan on the inside that keeps everything dry, and it's all built inside of like an ammo box.
Huh. Are there like vents and stuff so that the air can pass through and it can dry out?
Yeah, so he has vents, and then he uses aluminum foil tape on the front to keep it, locked into the focus, and then he uses obviously the hand warmers.
Right. Yeah.
He just uses the ammo box.
Nice.
Well, cool. Yeah, I mean, just in my head, trying to think of how I'd do it, and I was just picturing like a Rubbermaid thing, but
You could do that too, but
it's but what I've learned is, whatever someone's doing that is established and has been doing it a long time and has experience, I like to try to follow what they're doing, because there
Mhm.
might be a reason that they're doing it that way that I haven't discovered.
Yeah, you can do the Rubbermaid one as well. I mean, it's all the same. The Rubbermaid,
Yeah.
boxes, the ammo boxes, they're all,
I did a quick search to see if there's a 3D file that can print you something, but no one's made anything.
Well, actually, Adrian has. He 3D printed his camera box. Adrian, how do you say his last name? Ruiz? You know who
Maybe we should reach out to him. Maybe
Matt,
give me the
you know
3D
who I'm talking
file,
about.
print it.
Yeah, Adrian. What is Adrian's? I don't know Adrian's last name. He's a very intelligent kid though. Sorry, Adrian, you're not a kid, man. My bad. Don't. He's gonna come at me. He's gonna be like, dude, Ruiz, Ruiz. Yeah, Adrian's great. Every single launch. The thing about Adrian is every single launch that there is he's always there. No matter where I'm at, where my other at, 401, 401, or wherever it is, he's always there.
I want to say I met him at like the first or second launch I saw here out on the pier at Jetty Park, and we just always run into each other now. And
yeah,
I've
known Adrian for a while now. He's he's a book of knowledge that dude is.
Yeah, he's totally in, man. He's gonna be working for somebody soon, or however soon he gets out of school. Smart kid. Way to go, Adrian. Hey, let's talk about this picture that Keagle got. This kind of looks like the Starship Coco site, but it is not.
But it's not.
It is not the Starship Coco site, but that is a Starship bulkhead.
Yeah. Glimmering in the heat of the day.
Glistening in the sun. Yeah, man. Yeah, that was a good capture. So I don't know that. I'm not sure I knew that they were doing any work like that out there. I mean,
Me
like
neither.
this, I knew that they were getting ready for that sort of stuff. That probably once they roll Starship out of Coco, that's probably it. We
Or they might just make parts and
yeah,
ship
we talked about that. How
smaller
they might
stuff,
just
but-
make the rings or other things out there that they need, and then ship them out to Kennedy. But yeah, it looks like there is already activity at their spot within Kennedy grounds.
Yep. I took that.
And this is something you
driving
can
by
see.
in the window with my iPhone.
Yeah, you can see this, folks. If you go on a Kennedy Space Center bus tour, just out to the Apollo Center, you drive by this. It's I had it pulled up on Google
When you
Maps.
go out there and you're on the tour, and the guy starts talking about the eagle nest, it's just south of that.
Yeah, so I've got Google Maps pulled up. This down here is your visitor complex, and then you'll get on the bus, and then you go this way, and you end up going north here towards the VAB. The VAB is way up here, but down in this region, and it's somewhere like down in here, is where SpaceX has their site.
It's right there.
So
You're just there's a little road, and then
Right
it
here?
does an L.
I guess it's a little bit delayed because of the YouTube. But
Yeah, sorry, but yeah, it does a little L right there. It's in
kind of
that
the
area
corner.
right there.
Yeah.
So they're also repaving that right now too.
Yeah, so whenever you come down for a launch and you want to see where SpaceX is where they have their Starship operations, which at some point you're probably gonna be able to see Starships out there until they finally get to their final design. I imagine they're gonna move all that stuff indoors. I don't think they're gonna continue to build Starship just out in the elements.
Yeah,
but yeah,
They gotta
that's
start-
where you look.
they gotta start building like Bezos out there.
Yeah. With
Like Blue Origin's got huge facilities out there right now.
yeah,
They're building more.
Yeah, and they're building more. Yeah, and if you want to know where Blue Origin is and you're watching here, it's right down in this region right here. In fact, looks like Google Maps has updated, so you can actually see the building.
You can see the complex. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Last time I looked at Google Maps, you could not see this. It just looked like all grass. So they got. I wonder what these ponds are for. I bet these ponds weren't there before.
We got their retention ponds. So whenever you take fill to build anything up in Florida, you have to have it's for water runoff.
Oh,
So
okay,
it's
yeah.
all concrete, So all that water has to go somewhere. It would normally absorb into the ground, but it doesn't. So now the water is supposed to be directed into the ponds,
Okay, yeah,
the
that
retention
makes
ponds.
sense. But and this doesn't even give the whole picture because there's more. They're building more here.
Yeah, to the south there's a whole new thing being built, and then you got
I
the
think
west side
over
of it.
here. There's something being built over here. And
Also below it on the south.
And I was talking to a few photographers at some point. We were just kind of just talking shop, I guess, talking about how they're gonna transport New Glenn from here out to the launch pad, and I was just thinking, easy peasy, just you go down because there's even this little curve to this road right here, and it seems like you're gonna go this way and then you go here and then cut back over this way, but they were saying that you can't do that, and I think what they were suggesting was like this area right here isn't wide enough.
I don't know.
I might need to next time I run it. I think it was Ken Kramer and Mike. Forget his last name.
I don't think the road's wide enough there.
Yeah, like
the bridge.
The bridge, yeah, that drawbridge.
I guess you can bring it over then
wide enough.
and put it on the barge.
Yeah, that could be floated over.
Yeah,
but
there's a lot of train tracks around there, so they could bring it on and put it on. But I'm not sure if they make it over to the.
It just seems so painfully obvious to me, though, that when it comes, because this is the factory, and when it comes out, it will be on this road, and they purposely made this road to curve off to the west.
Yeah. I don't know. Guess we're gonna find out one day.
We should just call this Speculation 101. This is how we do it.
Most of this podcast today. Yeah. This show.
Noted.
Speculation 101. New title for the show. And then we had one other thing, and Matt actually posted this on Next Horizon Spaceflight. It flew under my radar, but it was the Vulcan Centaur topping out ceremony. So what is that? Do we know?
So basically, what that is for their mobile launch platform. They are building up the tower, and so anytime any of the towers get to a certain height, they top it off. And when they do that, I don't know if it's just ULA. I've never seen SpaceX or any of the other companies do this, but I know ULA does it where they'll have their topping off ceremony, and that's exactly what they did. The new mobile launch platform is about 183 feet tall, and it weighs about 1.3 million pounds. And what's neat about this platform is it's going to start launching the Vulcan in 2021. So that's what the significant behind that is that 2021 Vulcan, again, big huge rocket, going to be awesome, going to be a good show. It's going to be quite amazing. So yeah, that's what that was. They were topping it off, saying, "Hey, it's pretty much ready to start launching some Vulcans."
Man, it's so cool. Like lately, it seems like so many different programs are really starting to show, real hardware.
Yeah.
And I'd heard a rumor of what the building that it's being assembled in is what they're calling it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What's this?
Spock.
The building is being called Spock.
Spock, yes.
Spock is gonna birth the Vulcan.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's gonna be cool once all this stuff is done and everything's finished, and we have just launches on a regular basis. That's just gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be so crowded.
It's gonna be crowded, but it'll eventually be to the point where they're going to be doing commercial flights into space. So just like you're able to buy a plane ticket, you'll be able to buy a seat onto a rocket that'll launch you into space.
Yeah.
Go on Virgin Galactica, it's $250,000.
Yeah.
But you're what, suborbit? You're not technically.
I mean, you're going to space.
Yeah, just build it. Yeah, if you build a float around.
I mean, there was some debate on whether or not, that was because I think they only went up like 60 miles or something, and that's or it's like 50 or 60 miles, and that's not quite like. Because I think the Kármán line is what 60. What we were talking to Mad Mike last week. What was it? 62.8. It's
Miles.
whatever 100 kilometers is in miles. Because 100 kilometers is what's considered the Kármán line. Either way, it's high enough to be mostly out of the atmosphere. And the thing about the atmosphere is there's not a hard line where all of a sudden the atmosphere stops. It gradually gets thinner and thinner and thinner, and even up where the space station is, that's like 250 miles up or something like that. And even that high up, there are wisps of atmosphere that are gradually slowing down the space station, and so it always has to be reboosted. So every once in a while they have I think it's the Progress vehicle that they use, which is a Russian cargo vehicle, and it's attached to a certain part of the space station, and they light its engines, and it accelerates it and boosts its orbit. It brings it back up to a higher orbit.
And if anybody wants to see what that looks like, I posted something on Next Horizons on that not too long ago. One of the astronauts showing what it's like when they boost the
right.
engines.
You remember how long ago that was? Because I wouldn't mind.
Oh, that's actually not too long ago.
Was it pretty close? Let's see.
Yeah, because it was I can't remember his name. The astronaut, he was explaining how the boosting worked and how, just like you're saying, over time the International Space Station will stop, and then once it stops, it starts falling back into Earth, and that's why it's important that they reboost. So that was actually not too long ago that I actually was able to find that video and post it.
I mean, do you remember if it was this month?
It was. Hang on, bear with me.
He's looking for it too.
Yeah. Hold.
So people will eventually be able to buy, tickets on rockets to go to space, just like you can buy an airplane ticket.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, is there going to be like value tickets where you just go to like the ghetto of space?
You sit in the back by the bathroom.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know with Starship, they plan on eventually doing point to point, Earth to Earth travel, and they say that they are going to try to make it where tickets are about the same as flying, to the other side of the world on a plane in like business class.
Yeah,
not
that could
not
be
economy.
2-3 grand.
Yeah, it'd be expensive still, and I guess you need to have somewhere that you want to go. Yeah, I've scrolled back to the beginning of September and I can't see it.
I've scrolled back to the beginning of time. It's not there.
The dawn of man as we knew him. Oh, here's that picture of the engine being installed on the SLS core, the actual SLS core.
The Pathfinder.
Pathfinder. That was but this is the real one. That was the term we were trying to think of earlier. The SLS core Pathfinder.
That's the practice core.
The practice one.
Yeah.
That's just isn't it like an upgraded original shuttle engine? Is that the one, or aren't they using something like that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They're basically the same. I mean, I'm sure that they've made some changes to them, but they're basically the same. That was the whole idea behind SLS, is that it's supposed to be easy to do this and fairly quick because they're using all of the heritage.
What happened to that
shuttle hardware? It ain't as easy as they thought. I don't know. They weren't in that big of a hurry. I don't know. There's a lot of criticisms of SLS, and most of them are valid. That doesn't change the fact that I look forward to seeing it fly. But
I'd love to see it.
I can't not hold those same feelings about it. Like, why, if it's basically the same as the shuttle with some major differences, sure, but it's not like they didn't know how to build it.
Yeah, a lot of equipment they already had.
I know.
So like, a lot of stuff you didn't have to build, just things laying around collecting dust.
Yeah, and probably not even collecting dust. They probably have them in these clean rooms, just in pristine condition.
Yeah.
you know, and I don't know. We're not rocket scientists or engineers or anything like that.
No,
And
I'm
so
sure it's not easy, but I think there's. I'm gonna say there's some communication
some dilly
and
dallying.
management issues of some sort.
Yeah,
Something's like being slowed down.
yeah, for sure. Matt, you have any luck finding that video? It's fine
That
if not.
was,
We can move on. It's cool. I've seen it, I've seen one like it anyway. But yeah, the astronauts like sitting there floating. Yeah, of course the space station doesn't stop. It just over time it's slowing down, and when it slows down, that brings it closer to the Earth, and so for that reason they have to gradually, or every once in a while, they have to boost it. But you see the astronaut, he's sitting there, and he's pretty much floating just in the same, just in one spot, you know, barely moving. And then
Oh, is that where we
whenever,
had the laptop? Did he do it? He had he's holding the laptop or something
probably,
also, and then it started shifting towards the camera, but he was staying still because as it was, yeah,
well, he would. I know that he started moving too because I mean, because the engine is
yeah,
pushing and he's not holding on to anything. So basically, the space station is accelerating around him,
yeah.
and so he appears like he's drifting backwards, but it's really that the space station is pressing forward. But it's a pretty
Yeah,
cool
I
thing to
remember
see.
that video.
Yeah.
yeah, that was a while ago. I'm,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
still digging it.
further back than you thought.
Yeah. Oh, here it
I
is.
do remember it.
September 15th.
September 15th. All right, we can scroll down to September 15th. Oh, there's September 18th, 18th, 17th, 17th, 15th, 15th, 12th, 13th, 14th.
Someday.
No, I'm not seeing it. Is it?
It's disappeared.
Yeah.
Maybe it's on the Facebook or is it on
Oh, he's probably looking at Facebook. I'm looking at
Yeah.
Twitter.
the old Twitter?
We're doing.
Oh my
We're
god.
doing great. We're crashing and burning just like a space station that's not being reboosted.
Show
Yeah,
prep. What's that?
Oh,
Well,
man.
folks, you can find it.
If you're that interested, yeah.
Yeah, we're moving on because the X.
He told you the date.
Yeah, he told you the date. Look at the Next Horizon Spaceflight Facebook page and scroll down till your heart's content. Look for September 15th. Ding. So a few days ago, I woke up to an email. Apparently, I'm on a mailing list to let me know about this. But the X-37B returned, launched atop a SpaceX Falcon 9 over 2 years ago. It was September, like 7th or
15th.
of 20.
What was it doing? We don't know
What
because we don't have the
was it
clearance for that.
doing? Yeah, we have no idea. Scott Manley did put out a good video, very informative about what we do know about the X-37B. I'm showing now this infrared video of it landing, and that's all we have as far as I know of it landing. Is just this infrared video.
It is
What's
pretty
it
cool.
called?
The X-37B.
It's like a little shuttle.
Yeah, here I'll show you this video again. Shoo.
Coming in.
Yeah, I wish that there was some way that we could have known because I would have totally gone outside just to see if I could hear the sonic boom. I heard that some people did hear that sonic boom.
What time? 3:51 a.m.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was probably awake at that time because I usually am. So yeah, X-37B is back. We don't know what it was doing, but it was up there for a record like 700 and something days.
780. It just said.
780.
Uh-huh.
That is incredible.
It's a long time. Just hanging out by itself.
Well, but
round and around and around.
And you know they got to be doing some. You know they got to be doing tests. I mean, it's a like futuristic space plane that they're testing out new technologies and stuff. I assume maybe testing out like orbital maneuvering and stuff. But although it's not a very big thing, It
Yeah.
can't have that much fuel on board, so it can't be adjusting its orbit too much.
Not
What-
to last that long.
What recorded the sound of the pulsar? Is that what it's called?
Well, nothing recorded the sound. They used electromagnetic radiation and cosmic collisions and ripples of space-time. These are data points collected by sensors.
That sounds
on
just like
spaceboat.
recording.
Yeah.
It sounds like something off of Star Trek.
So who did that?
Who?
Who collected all that data?
I don't know. NASA?
Maybe that's what the X-37B was doing up there.
Oh no. I don't think they released what the
Listening for
X-37B was
pulsars.
doing.
I don't know what an X-37B is.
Sorry.
You said
You have to put a picture up for.
you said it
Shuttle.
2 years ago. Something about launch of a something
It launched on a Falcon 9.
launched on a Falcon 9.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You'll remember
Looks
this from last night because we mentioned it on the show last night.
Yeah, little miniature shuttle.
See it?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's
I do remember now.
Let's see. Yeah, here. This one you can see people next to it. You can see that it's not all that big.
Yeah, it's
These
like
people
if those guys are an
standing right
average
next to
6
it.
foot, it's only like a couple feet higher than them.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
look, this guy.
Unmanned.
Yeah, if this guy was standing up, he would almost be as tall as it.
Mm-hmm.
And so when they launch it within a fairing, just like any other satellite. So you can't see it. I do remember seeing that launch, and I went through all of my photos, and I don't have anything, so I have to assume I must have been working that day. So it goes. These days, I try to get all launches off, but back then I wasn't trying to,
Pesky work.
Yeah. Yeah. So welcome back. And apparently they're going to launch it again sometime next year on an Atlas V, is what I've heard through the grapevine. But we'll find
Switching
out
it
whenever
up.
it's closer. Yeah, because this thing is, even though it's top secret, you can't really keep launches a secret, especially when it launches from Cape Canaveral. There's no way. Like if you were launching something from Alaska, it'd be different.
I just hope when they get done launching it and it's like finally getting retired that they like put it in a museum or something.
Oh yeah.
Like put it at Kennedy or in the Smithsonian or somewhere. You know what I mean? Just don't like toss it away or put it in.
I'm sure they will. I don't think they're going to toss it. They're starting to figure out people are interested in seeing this stuff.
Oh yeah,
I mean, they'll strip off anything that you could possibly learn from it that's like futuristic technology, but
Yeah. Well, even the shuttle, that's what the Atlantis in there. And I
Yeah.
mean, if you went inside, it's stripped out because my friend Brent was part of the team that took all the instruments out. Like they got it. He's got a picture of him and his dad sitting in the cockpit.
really, while it's hanging
Yeah.
at that angle,
Oh, it's on the ground where they're decommissioning it. But it's still, I mean, that's an experience. I wish, I mean, be able
Yeah.
to sit in there.
that'd be cool. That'd be pretty neat.
Yep. Well, that's the end of all the things that I have to talk about. Does anybody have any? Oh, there's Jennifer Aniston.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, everybody! We dressed up. Look,
Yeah.
I'm an astronaut.
I'm
didn't.
Cat Dog. Cat
I
Dog.
got-
You
That's
cat
right.
dog.
Old school.
Keagle's nothing, even though he said he was dressing up.
Yeah.
I've got lipstick on.
My costume's in the wash. I didn't realize that.
Oh, you could have worn it wet.
I spilled. I on the party. I dribbled some hot pockets or whatever. What was he eating? Those Tostitos thingies. Those little
Oh,
what was
Pizza
it? Pizza rolls. Yeah, I got pizza rolls.
Of all the things that you could have said then, that you dripped something on your outfit, Hot Pockets was the last thing I would have expected it to be.
I like hot pockets though.
well, all right. Well, that's
Yeah.
been a show. Yeah, we got launches coming. There will be launches, and I've
There will
heard
be photos.
through the various grapevines that SpaceX is targeting November 11th for Starlink. Obviously, it's subject to change. There's not even
Fingers crossed.
really a public date out there. If you go to the Spaceflight Now launch schedule page, it just says TBD, to be determined. But there are rumbles and grumbles and whispers in the night about
Does it?
Huh?
Does it matter that that's a holiday?
the
Ooh,
11th.
what's
It's,
that?
it's Veterans Day.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
That date probably won't hold.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if they would.
They take all that stuff into consideration. Like they have a lot. You got to think about it. A lot of their employees are veterans too. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I don't know.
tell you, it's just a long. You know, I mean that date won't hold.
You heard it here first, folks. Starlink is not launching on November 11th.
Oh, I was gonna guess that too. In fact, I guess that it's going to launch on the 15th. That's
yeah?
when it'll happen. That's my guess.
A couple people that I talk to that are in the know usually about this stuff say that they had already heard the 17th, and that this 11th date was news to them. So we'll just see. Either way, it's coming up in the next few weeks.
Either way, we'll have coverage of it regardless.
We'll see who's in the rumor mill wins in this
All
one.
right? Are we placing bets right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We put it up on the Vegas. We can bet on it.
All right, the winner gets Hot Pockets.
Yeah, or pizza
And
rolls.
pizza
Or
rolls.
You choose.
rolls.
All right. Well, folks.
Just-
Wait. What was that?
No,
Okay.
nothing.
It was probably a comment about Hot Pockets.
Yeah, I was going to continue my love of Hot Pockets.
Follow us on Twitter, Pressing for Flight. That 4 is a number 4. And follow us individually at these names right here.
And we are officially on wherever you can find a podcast. We are there. Google, Apple, Spotify, TuneIn, iHeartRadio. Just type us in, Pressing for Flight. And if you want to listen to in the car or mowing the lawn, you can.
Only those two things specifically.
Yeah, that's just examples. Somewhere where you don't want to watch on the screen.
Or you could chip it into a stone and then read it.
Mm.
And if you do that, we thank you. And you can feel free to sell that on eBay or whatever. Keep the proceeds. All right.
Just transcript on stone.
Yep.
Ugh, a lot of stones.
Keagle.
Yes. Oh yeah. Oh, I got to do something here. All right.
Shutdown sequence initiated. Shutting down.